All right, this one's a little bit different. Example number 2. So we're talking percentages and non-percentages here. So whenever you're talking about percentages, first of all, it says Aaron adds 80% of brine, which is salt and water solution, to 16 ounces of solution that is 10% brine. How much of the solution should be added to create a solution that is 50% brine? So we got to talk about rates here. So when we talk about rates, the rate is sort of the amount of brine that we're talking about over the total solution that we're talking about. So if we look at the first sentence right here, we've got 80% brine solution to a 16 ounce of solution that is 10% brine. So that's a lot of stuff. So the amount of brine that we're working with would be our 16 ounces times 0.10 for the 10%, and that gets us about 1.6. So that is the amount of brine that we're working with. Now, when we set this up, it's best to set a proportion up in this case because it's telling us we want 50% of it to be the brine. So 50 over 100 gets us our 50%. So now the question is what's going to be on the left-hand side, and that's where our rate ratio comes in. So it says the amount of brine. So we have two percentages here. We had the 1.6 in terms of calculating with the 10% brine, and we are going to add to it the 80% of the brine. The thing is we don't know what the X value is, so we have to figure out what that initial value is to determine what the 80% is. So the amount of brine goes with the 1.6 plus 0.8x. The total solution is the 16 plus the X value that we are looking for. So you have an X on the top and the bottom, which means it's a proportion though, so we're going to cross multiply. So we have our calculators given that we're at home. So what you could do is you could also reduce the 50 over 100 to 1/2 to lower the numbers down. But when you cross multiply, you get 2 times the 1.6 plus 0.8x equals 1 times the 16 plus x. That right side's not affected. The 2 has to be distributed to both of those items. The right-hand side, though, you don't have to worry about anything being adjusted. When you combine like terms, you get 0.6x is equal to 12.8. And when you divide, you get about 21.3 ounces of the 80% brine solution. So that means that 21.3 ounces of that 80% brine is what we are talking about in this particular question. Okay, but focus on being able to determine if you're talking about percentages, the rate, so it's the amount of brine over the total solution.